What up, though? Welcome back to Lions Nation Unite. I'm your host, Eazy, also known from the Woodward Sports Network. Smash that like button if you think that I am the most charismatic, handsome, strong, minded individual on this channel. And if you disagree, smash the like button as well. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the most important, vital, crucial parts of Detroit Lions success. And to be fair, it's kind of tiered out, in my opinion. Number one is Jared Goff. He'd be 1A. Number 1B for me is the offensive line. And let's start with number one, Jared Goff. Like, we know who Jared Goff is. At least we may disagree with where he ranks in terms of like tiered out quarterbacks from elite to great to good, starters, whatever you want to be with that one. I think at the end of the day, you have to agree that he is a good quarterback. I don't think you could say he's not. He may not be one of the superheroes, supermen of the NFL when you're looking at Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. Like, he can't do that kind of stuff. I completely understand. I agree. However, he is Batman. And everybody knows Batman, with the right utilities, with the right tools, and prep time, can beat Superman. Everyone knows that. That's law. And I think we've seen Jared Goff become that and do that in this league. Jared Goff has the right utility tools. We've been over this all the time. Amon St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta. Let's go a little bit further. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. He had even more last year. We're looking at the offensive line. That's where we're heading into tier 1B in the importance of the Detroit Lions, and that is the offensive line. There are only two starters we know of for damn sure are going to be on that offensive line, barring injury, knock on wood. And that is Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker. The interior offensive linemen, we don't know who's starting there. You lost an all-pro caliber guy. You lost one of the batarang and Batman's utility belt with Frank Ragnow, because not only does Frank Ragnow do a phenomenal job at blocking for Jared Goff, as you guys know, and I'm sure you saw the breakdown on this channel beforehand too, your center, especially one as smart as Frank Ragnow, is breaking everything down in terms of protections, calling out who's in the box. I mean, that's what a center's job is, and Frank was one of the best at it. As a matter of fact, I've watched interviews where he was like, I don't even know why I'm just good at this. I think it's an instinctual thing. Frank was that good on top of just a physical play. And it damn tough, because he played through injuries as well. And every single player could do the things that Frank Ragnow did, just straight up on the field, mentally. And mentally, I would just actually categorize that in injuries as well. Like, some guys can't play hurt. Some guys can't get over that. I probably couldn't. I mean, Frank Ragnow was an Iron Man. But, yeah. Concerns there. Frank Ragnow's just one of them. The other two, are we forgetting how good Kevin Zeitler was for the Detroit Lions last year? Kevin Zeitler was, I would say, a top 5 guard in the National Football League last season. Kevin Zeitler easily could have earned himself an all-pro had he had some of the cachet as some of the other people with the names on there. Kevin Zeitler was phenomenal for the Detroit Lions. In fact, I know he only actually let him like 5 sacks according to PFF. But he was phenomenal. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. I was kind of heartbroken that he didn't return. However, you do have a guy named Christian Mahogany that's giving you a little bit of faith in that one. But if I'm being completely honest, as much as I love Christian Mahogany, I loved him dating back to last year's draft class. We've only seen Christian in one game, and one game's worth of action. It was against the Chicago Bears. Christian played 33 snaps in total. I'm sorry. He played 65 snaps in total. 32 of them in run blocking. I thought he was phenomenal. And then 33 of them in pass blocking. He only let one quarterback hit, but he was phenomenal for the entirety of the game at left guard. That's the Chicago Bears. But I know we joke around and we pick on the Chicago Bears, but it's for a reason. They kind of stink. It's been that way for a while now. And then, yes, they're good at collectively as a defense. I wouldn't say specifically the defensive tackle position where you're seeing Christian Mahogany block these guys. Although Javon Dexter flashed potential. I'm not saying he's anybody to like hang your hat on. Like, yeah, man, I blocked Javon Dexter for a whole game and didn't let up a single sack or anything like that. There's questions with Christian Mahogany. As much as I love him, again, I think I would go out and I'd venture to say he's probably going to be your starting left guard and or right guard, wherever you want to put him. I think he'll probably end up being one of the three. The other 3 question marks for the interior offensive line is, okay, who plays center? And who plays the other guard spot? Because I think I could easily go out there and say that's probably center-wise going to be our guy Graham Glasgow. But let's is carrying on. We're being open about this situation. The most important, vital, crucial piece of Detroit Lions' success. As much as I love Graham, he had a little bit of his fall off last year. And you could point to age, you could point to injury. Their combination of those two, it's what happens when you get a little bit older at that position in the National Football League. I mean, that's half the reason Frank Ragnow retired. He was younger than Graham Glasgow. So questions. There's some questions there. Moving on. Okay, Miles Frazier, Tate Ratledge. I actually really, really like both those guys. I think one of those guys I'm not thinking, I'm telling you, one of those guys is going to be the starter in the interior offensive line. But we don't know what they are at the NFL level yet either. I think the saving grace in all of this for the importance of the Detroit Lions team is the fact that I think any combination of these guys will be able to run the football with. Between your ability to weaponize Penei Sewell in the running game, which I know that it was a trait of Ben Johnson, but like you've seen enough on tape. Dan Campbell knows enough. Like, hey, that's something we got to utilize. I mean, they even did it with screen passes or bubble screens for Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're throwing the ball to him, but making sure Penei's out there to block ahead of him. And Amon-Ra scored on those plays. I think we'll be able to run the ball for sure. But the pass blocking situation is where we have some concerns. In fact, I'll give you a recent one. All right, in the Commanders game, when the game started to fall apart, the interception that Jared Goff threw after Graham Glasgow gave up a block. That's one of these guys is probably most likely going to start for you this year. He's got to be healthy, on point, or at least helping coach alongside Tate Ratledge. Not alongside, but helping coach along Tate Ratledge so he could supersede him at some point. Because that was part of the issue. Again, Jared Goff could be a good quarterback. You need to keep him protected. He's Batman. He needs those utilities. He needs the prep time. And again, obviously, there's questions about Tate Ratledge and Miles Frazier. Yeah, we could be excited about them, but we have to see it. We have to see it in action. And I think that's the only concern with the Detroit Lions team heading into next season. I'm not really tripping off of who's calling the plays, offense or defense. I think defense will be fine either way. Yeah, I think offensively, there's probably a little bit more questions with Johnny Morton, just because, yeah, he was here for a year, and yeah, he helped out a lot. But I mean, come on, we know Ben was the catalyst behind this. We've heard them say it themselves. I think we'll be fine, though. There's enough weapons to work alongside that. It's just, can we keep Jared Goff safe? And that's evidence of the importance of the offensive line. And again, if you guys disagree that is the second most, or I'm sorry, 1B most important thing for Detroit Lions success this season, comment down below. Is it that extra edge rusher? Is it the secondary? Can Terrion take the step? You guys let me know in the comment section down below. I'll do a video on that as well. But I think the offensive line is the number one most important. Yes, Jared Goff, but it goes hand in hand, right? And I'll give you some examples. Matter of fact, here is one of Jared Goff's interceptions from last season. And this is game one against the LA Rams. I want you to look where the pressure came from to cause this bad throw from Jared Goff. All right, starting the playoff. Here we go. There's a stunt in the middle. You see my man, the hands up. Jared tries to get it out of there. Picked off. Amon-Ra looked like he got kind of rocked on that too. I did not like the way that looked for Amon-Ra St. Brown. Thankfully, he is obviously all right. Went on to have a Pro Bowl season, all-pro season, I should say. All right, here we go from the end zone view. Jared Goff, catch the stunt, 91, tosses it in there. That did not look pretty for Amon-Ra St. Brown. The interior pressure helped lead to that interception. Even go back to the Thanksgiving Day massacre where a quarterback in green came here, a team in green came here and kind of ruined your Thanksgiving because we had those backups, Graham Glasgow included, on the interior offensive line. This is taking a while to load. I'll get that going at some point. Okay, and of course, now here it goes. Well, I'm going to have to pause that one for you guys. It's another pick from Jared Goff, actually game 2 of the season. This one was against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I want once more for you guys to check out what's going on, what's causing this interception from Jared Goff, a guy who is become notorious for being very, very accurate in this Detroit Lions scheme. We ain't calling it Ben Johnson scheme because he's gone. But look at Vita Vea. I think it's Vita Vea gets a push in the middle here. Boom. forced to throw a little bit early. And then there's actually multiple situations obviously caused an interception here. I think Jameson Williams got knocked off his route a little bit, but what caused Jared Goff from the end zone view, you're going to see, I think it's Jahmyr Gibbs that's also open here. They could have got short. But Jared Goff with the pressure in the middle, not great. Right? Forces that ball over. There's Jahmyr Gibbs. He could have got over here. Picked off. If you guys wanted, I could probably do 20 minutes worth of that just from the past 2 years. Again, I think Jared Goff is very, very good. I think he's really good. It's just when he's under pressure, under duress, he does some silly things. Maybe you guys remember like in the playoff game against the Rams where, Aaron Donald was coming towards him. He just tossed the ball backwards. We just we need to keep Jared Goff protected. It is the most important thing for the Detroit Lions, in my opinion. I think the defense will be just fine. Matter of fact, if not better than they were last year, and that's just due to guys coming back and being healthy. I think the offense will be just fine calling the plays. I just don't see how you can't score with the weapons that we have. I would throw Khalif Raymond in there too as a gadget guy. Isaac Tesla, we've yet to see. We know Brad Holmes drafts really, really well. It is the offensive line keeping Jared Goff safe. For all that stuff to mesh, for all that stuff to work, you need to keep him up and standing. And I think there's questions about that. That's why I will be at this year's training camp. July 26th, I think it will start for us fans. Make sure you guys are down there. If you're down there, come say what up, though. Come say hi. Let me know your questions about the Detroit Lions, your opinions on the Detroit Lions. Obviously, a lot of good things coming. I don't think the Detroit Lions are going to fall off from where they were last year. I have a tougher season for sure, and that's just due to schedule and obviously questions in the offensive line. But again, if I'm wrong, let me know down in the comment section below. What is the most important part to Detroit Lions' success other than the offensive line and Jared Goff? I got to know you guys here. Again, is it edge rusher? Is it secondary? Is it health? Is it play calling? You let me know down below. I appreciate you guys for tapping in this video. Make sure you come in for the next one. Smash that like button. And until next time, I'm out.